Hi everybody, happy Monday. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. It's a little bit cooler here in London today, so I'm enjoying that after being roasting last week, and I'm sure you've all heard me complain about that enough. So, um, today's live stream is about imposter syndrome. So again, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Catherine. I am the founder of Future Retail Consulting and the Female Founders in Retail Facebook group. And I help small and startup businesses make more money and grow long-lasting businesses. I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome because I'm always amazed when I work with clients, particularly women, but not just women, who've created these fantastic brands. In fact, today I was talking to somebody who's created a phenomenal streetwear brand, and yet they still have this small voice inside them that criticizes them or makes them feel inadequate. And that is what you call imposter syndrome. So at the end, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about a roadmap you can download from me that will give you the steps to grow your business profitably. But for right now, let's focus on how you deal with that voice. So imposter syndrome, it's a term that refers to when you feel that you may get found out. So you results in you feeling inadequate. Somehow you feel that what you're doing, is somehow not valid, and that everyone else is doing it better than you, and sooner or later someone's going to find you out. So does this sound like you? You look at other people's businesses and you compare yourself to them. You start seeing results, but you feel really inadequate because progress is slow and it's not where you expected it to be from everything that you read about these sort of overnight successes, building your 6-7-figure business. Do you feel inadequate because you've not hit 20,000 followers on Instagram yet? Do you worry about how other people will react to your product? Do you feel embarrassed about how professional your packaging, your marketing, or other aspects of your business are? And those things that sound like you, that is all symptoms of this imposter syndrome, this feeling less than. And this is why it doesn't work for you. Basically, it's completely unproductive, it's unhelpful, and it slows you down. So comparing yourself to somebody else is just the absolute quickest way for you to get derailed and move you away from what your plans are for your business. So what could you do instead? Well, persistence is the #1 trait of successful entrepreneurs. So you just have to keep going. There is nothing wrong with identifying elements of your business that you want to work on. For example, maybe your packaging is something that you do feel you want to elevate. But there's a big difference between making the decision to elevate your packaging and your product and your marketing and all of those things, which are all really positive impulses that we all have to improve ourselves and improve our businesses. And that's very, very different from beating yourself up because you're not doing the same as somebody else. And I have a picture that I'm going to share with you in the comments, and it's of Anita Roddick outside the very first Body Shop. And I think it's a really powerful picture because it's this teeny little shop, and it's kind of, got a almost like hand-painted sign, and she just looks like she's beaming from ear to ear. And the question is if somebody like Anita Roddick had really just picked on herself at that point in time and said, oh, I've just got this one shop and it's not nearly as professional, as polished as Marks and Spencer's or whatever else, then she just would never have kept going. So that's what you have to remember. And somebody also said to me once, don't ever compare your first draft, whether that's in something you're writing or something you're producing, with somebody else's finished one. Because when you see these businesses that have gone through these transformations and look very slick and professional, it's exactly that. It's a transformation. And nobody starts a business from scratch that looks the way that it will end up looking in the end. So don't let yourself get put off track by feelings of inadequacy, because without sounding too cheesy, the world needs your point of view. They need your product. They need the things that you're creating. They need you to be true to yourself and to your vision and to have confidence to put yourself out there in the world. Look at your strategy. If you don't have one, make yourself one. Or even if it's a one-pager, even if it's one line of what you want to achieve with your business, write it down And whenever you're feeling like you're stuck or you're not enough, then go back to that strategy and say, am I working towards it? It doesn't matter if you're taking big steps towards it or if you're taking little steps towards it. What matters is that you are moving forward. The other big way to combat this feeling of inadequacy is to celebrate your successes. It doesn't have to be the big wins. It could just be, it could be your first order. It could be that one person has had faith in you to buy one thing from you. It could be the biggest order that you've had so far. It could be signing a new wholesale agreement. It could be that you hit your plan for the week. It could be that you just took the time that week to get moving on social media. If you have up by your desk or wherever it is that you work, just a little noteboard that says weekly wins, and every time, even if it's just somebody complimenting you on social media who said, wow, that's a really great necklace, or that's a really interesting concept, like write that down too, because that's what it's about. It's about enjoying the positive as you move along, because if you decide that you're only going to be proud and positive once you've hit a certain level, then the chances are you'll hit that level and then immediately start feeling dissatisfied. Whereas if you build into your business this process of always taking the positive and looking at that, then that will carry with you no matter where your business goes. And finally, remember that you're not alone. So the Facebook group here is specifically for this, for support, to celebrate your wins, to come and talk about it if you've got challenges, to ask questions, if there's anything that you need help with. That's what it's here for. That's why I created it, to bring together all of these people with these incredible businesses and to celebrate being able to support one another on our journey. And also just remember that even the biggest companies that you may look up to, they have their own moments, and people who buy for big names, sometimes they don't see the value in their own brand because they're inside it. And it's so easy when you're inside a company, or especially when it's one that you founded and you're working on day in and day out, to be hyper critical. But don't forget that whatever you've created, you're so far ahead of all the people who just never even bothered or had a dream but didn't act on it. So you just always be so proud of the fact that you are stepping out of your comfort zone and creating something, and be proud of what you're doing. Don't feel like you have to be a certain person or get to a certain level before you can start feeling proud. So then over to you. So how do you feel when things don't go your way in business? How do you feel when you have that little voice inside your head that tells you that you should be doing better or you should be doing something differently? Do you have specific tips that you'd like to share with us about how you get over that and keep moving forward? So do join in below and let me know if you've ever had this experience of imposter syndrome. And if you haven't, and you've always managed to keep yourself super positive and focused, then please share about that too, because I'd love to hear it. And finally, just to say, don't forget about downloading my roadmap. It's at www.futureretail.world/roadmap. Come along, download it, and then come into the group and tell us a little bit about how you deal with imposter syndrome. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.